President's declaration of a national emergency with Domenic Romano. He is the founder and managing member of the Romano Law firm. Also with us, Steve Rogers, a former military intelligence officer, a former member of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, and a current member of the President's Re-Election Advisory Board. And together they make up my law and order panel for tonight, if you will. All right, Steve, let's start with you. Let's start with order. The argument is made that there is no emergency at the borders. Is this a manufactured crisis?
Indeed, it is not a manufactured crisis. And as you reported earlier, Michelle, the governor of California is upset. He's upset that funding is being taken from disaster relief for California. This is a disaster. It's a disaster for every border state. I was with Marianne Mendoza, an angel mom, last night in Florida. And I asked her about how she really felt about this border crisis. She said, look, my son, police officer, was killed by an illegal immigrant. Indeed, it is a crisis, not only for law enforcement, it's a humanitarian crisis, and obviously a criminal element crisis with drugs and human trafficking, etc.
Dominic, do you see this as a national emergency? Something tells me you do not.
Well, consider this. Since 1976, since the national emergency law came about, only twice, only 2 times in almost 43 years has a national emergency been declared without legislative approval. The first was the first Gulf War by the first President Bush, and the second after 9/11 by the second President Bush. Think about that. Think about also the fact that the president promised that Mexico would pay for this wall. Instead, the American taxpayers are paying for a wall that nobody seems to want. There is absolutely no evidence. If you consult the security experts, illegal drugs and illegal people are coming from different ports of entry, legal ports of entry. They are not coming to where this wall, this so-called wall, is supposed to be. It's absolutely ridiculous. There are real emergencies in this country. If you look at the situation of what just happened in Aurora, gun violence is a real emergency in this country. Climate change, look at what's happening in California this week, is a real emergency in this country. Increasing poverty is a real emergency in this country, not a fake wall that this president promised that another country would pay for.
Steve?